Good morning, this is Faith at Faith and Books. I thought I would do a quick tag for Tag Tuesday. I'm going to do the World Book Tag that originated with Steve Donahue, and I saw Kathy Grimm's, and also a Mayberry Book Club, Matthew and Mayberry's. So I thought I'd do that one. There's another tag going around about coping with COVID-19, but I figured I'd talk so much about that yesterday. I don't want to dwell on it. And also, one of my coping mechanisms has been daydreaming about traveling. And so I'm really using this as an excuse to recommend another YouTube channel that isn't BookTube. It's called the Chateau Diaries. And it's the woman there is Stephanie. I forget her last name. Absolutely delightful channel. I've been escaping into it. It's a woman from England bought a crumbling chateau and is fixing it up. And it's all about her journey. She's been doing it for years now. And she's just delightful. She's got a sparkling personality, very funny. And just in love with beauty and hospitality and history. It's just a charming channel, and I've been binge watching it. So the Chateau Diaries, highly recommend. Makes me want to go to France, and I've been looking at chateaus for sale in France now, and I don't understand. My husband will not buy one for me. I don't get it. I'm really going to have to work on that with him. I found one that I think is reasonably priced. Anyway, so that's been my little fun daydream, is traveling. And before that, because I'd read that D.E. Stevenson book, The Marriage of Catherine, I'd been daydreaming about going to Scotland. So the World Book Tag is sort of right up my alley right now. So here we go. I'm going to do this quickly. I've already talked for 2 minutes, so I better hurry. Okay, what country do you currently call home? The USA. Is it the same country where you were born? Yes, I was born in Washington, D.C., and I only live a few miles outside of Washington, D.C., so I have not traveled much. 2, how many countries have you visited? Did you buy books there? I counted it up, and I think I've visited 8 countries, but a couple of them twice. So when I was 16, I went to England, Ireland, and Scotland. When I was 18, I spent 6 weeks in France. And then I went to Italy a couple of times. And then I visited Canada 3 times. And then I've been to Spain. Is that everything? Oh, and I've been to Mexico. So yeah, I think it totals 8. Did I buy books there? I did, but I don't really remember. I tended to bring books with me. I did buy some books, but it wasn't, in view of collecting books or that sort of thing. And I didn't buy much because, I had to pack it in my suitcase. But I did buy some books. And I remember visiting a couple of bookstores. There was a bookstore in Rome that I went to, and in France, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So I have been to bookstores in other countries. All right, let's see. Question number 3. How well is the world represented in your personal book collection? So my collection is weird. Like, I'm not a real collector. I inherited lots of books from my grandparents and parents and aunt. So that's really the heart of my collection. And then because I was a homeschooler, I collected a lot of like middle grade books and that sort of thing. So I'm not maybe a typical book collector. But anyway, this is all, just to say that I don't really know how well the world is represented in my personal book collection. I mean, I just read a couple of books in middle grade March that were set in Korea and China. I've got books probably from all over the world, but probably mostly Europe is the most represented. So and also maybe if you don't look at book collection, but what I read from the library or download on my Kindle or whatever, there's probably a better representation of world literature or books from various countries, and like some I've given away. Like I was looking for some books that I know I read and at one time owned, but I must have given them away. So my personal book collection isn't reflective completely of my reading. But I'm not collecting books, in view of trying to represent the world, because that's just not how it happened for me. Question number 4, how many works in translation do you currently have? I'm not going to go around counting. It's not including canon. I don't work in publishing, so I don't get a lot of books like that. And that's not what I'm focusing on. But I know I have some works in translation, like I just read the Don Camillo, the first book, and I have some more. I have books that are in Yiddish. I have, what is that, Sophie's World, that was originally in Norwegian. But I don't know how many I actually have. Maybe more than I think I have, but I don't think it's much. Number 5, tell us some weird facts about your country. Well, I live in the USA, so people know a lot about it. And, as Steve Donahue was ranting, we do have the weird fact that Trump is our president. So that's pretty weird. But I thought I would just talk about my state of Virginia, because maybe there's some facts there that people didn't know. So did you know that originally Washington, D.C. took land from both Maryland and Virginia, but then they handed back the Virginia one. They started building on the Maryland side of the river and decided they didn't really need the Virginia side, so they gave it back. So at one point that my area of the world, it was going to be part of Washington, D.C. And see some other weird facts. In this area was really torn apart during the Civil War. There was fighting, a lot of fighting, and in our area, everything has 2 names. So if you go to the Bull Run battlefield, it's also called the Battle of Manassas. And that's because the 2 different sides named their battles after different things. So let me see if I get this right. So the South tended to name the battles after the nearest town or some sort of landmark, and the North tended to name the battles after the closest stream. But in Virginia, we call streams runs. So we have Broad Run or Colvin Mill Run. Run means stream or creek. And so the Battle of Bull Run is the northern name. But if you talk to somebody who's coming from a more of a Confederate point of view, they would call it the Battle of Manassas. And we had 2 armies from this area. One of them was called the Army of Northern Virginia, and that was the Southern, that was Confederate. And then we also have the Army of the Potomac, named after the river, and that was the Union. So let's see what other weird facts we have. I mean, it was really, really contentious here. We have a road nearby called Gallows Road, because the story has it that that's where they would hang deserters during the Civil War. My sister lives in Winchester, which is about an hour from me, and that town actually switched sides between the Union and Confederate over 70 times. Like it was just, we just lived in a really, fought over area, very close to Washington, D.C. So you kind of can get a sense of urgency about how close the Confederacy was to winning over our capital. Let's see. I think that's enough. Okay, let's see. Is there a work of world literature on your TBR? There is. I've been wanting to read Things Fall Apart, which I believe is from Nigeria. I've been wanting to read that for a couple years. I've been wanting to read the book Silence, which is Japanese. On my in my head TBR, there are books of world literature that I want to read. I want to read more of the Don Camillo books. which are Italian. Let's see. And the last one is, 10 minutes so far. Okay, last one is tag other booktubers, but they can't be from your own country. So I'm just going to tag 2 Canadians. Remembered Reads, I think she's in Canada. She moves around a lot. And, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on your name too. But Remembered Read, Janet Remembered Reads, is that right? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But I'll put the link below. And also Jay Shea, I know he's also in Canada. So, so that's it. Have a good day. I'm feeling better. My throat feels better. It's not 100%, but it feels better. Anyway, have a good day and happy travels. Bye.